yeah, so it's coming from, I wouldn't say hungover, but very sleep deprived Saturday morning. I actually went out for once. Hooray! Wasn't overly exciting, but I was out of the house, so there's always that. And I'm going to do what I promised the other day, which is to say, we're going to start with Combiner Wars. I was going to say Combiner Force then, I don't know what that was all about. Combiner Wars Breakdown. Breakdown being my favourite of the stunt guns, because he just had that sort of rundown, oh well, why should I even bother attitude, which I really identify with. Because I've been incredibly negative for 90% of my life, which is why I'm a miserable, single, lonely nerd now. Oh well. But yeah, he's got the little add-on gun, which you could have on the G1. There was the big guns stuck on the back, so it's technically correct. And you got his gun, which kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy VIII, you know, the gun blades. It's got like a revolving barrel there, and then a blade up and down the sword. Up and down the sword? You know what I mean. So it's kind of gun blade, because it's got the peg there so you can hold it at the back. It's got the handle there so you can hold it at the front. That's cool. And he himself is a pretty good rendition of the original G1. He's a Lamborghini Countach. I actually know what one of those is. The only bit I'm not 100% sure is the fact that they've actually put 15 Racing across there. Don't remember the original having that. Pretty confident it didn't. But he's got the big red bonnet for no apparent reason, which the other one did, and you know, slight bit of blue. And he is the absolute correct cream colour. Might be coming out more white in the camera, but it is definitely a cream. And it's quite splendid. Really quite lovely. Right. Transformation. Might as well. And I'm going to give you my sneaky little tip, because you get people trying to get that loose, which doesn't work. My sneaky little tip. Just press on the back here. You know, because that's where the hinge is, which means this is behind the hinge, so leverage. Simple as that. Fold that back. Fold this all the way onto the back, is that right? Yeah. All the way onto the back, so we're basically at foot mode at this point. But, you know, we're not going to worry about that until I can get Motormaster. You untab these sides. Big slot goes onto the big tab in there, that big tab. On this one, because I've also got Sunstreaker, which is a repaint and, well, different head. He lines up a lot easier with this. For some reason, Breakdown is a lot trickier to line up. But, you know, it's still perfectly doable. Yeah, pop that out. Okay. Okay. Yeah, we'll do this bit first. And I've got an itchy nose. Where'd that come from? Sorry about that, kids. Right. So you untab this front bit, the sort of front bit of the bumper with the silver on there. And you basically just bring that loose. Okay? Leave that on the back, bring this. And you've got to fold it all the way down. And make sure this is folded 90 degrees, because it will try and fold there, and then nothing will line up. You've got to make sure you get it 90 degrees. Okay? Fold all this down. That bit goes into a little groove there. That goes into there. Bring it down. That sort of tabs into place. Then you bring the shoulders up. And the shoulders have got this little piece here, if you can see that. And that actually goes over the top here to lock everything into place. Which is why you've had to leave the arms sort of out to the side for now, because if you'd brought them up, this wouldn't have gone on top. Bring it onto the top. Then you straighten out the arms, double hinge. Straighten them out. Turn the head around. Isn't he adorable? Split this piece, which doesn't want to hold together very well, but, you know, it does. Just give it a good press and, you know, it will hold together. These double hinge inside here. And they just double hinge from there down. Split the legs, make sure they're pressed in. The hinge goes into this section here, in there. So just make sure it goes in there. I've dropped something. Bring down the toe, bring down the heel, which is the spoiler. So bring down the heel, bring down the toe, and you might think that's it. No, because his waist looks silly. It's actually on a weird hinge system, so you can actually bring the hip up. Now it's like that. I think this should go a bit further, or I'm not sure. It doesn't look 100% like it should be where it is, but whatever. And there is breakdown in robot mode. This is a bit gappy, but we'll get to that in a minute. And apart from the fact that he is the one of the set who's basically wearing flares, because his legs are like way bigger than they need to be, he's breakdown. He was made for this, and I love it. Because again, breakdown was my favourite. And the head sculpt is quite generic, but it's a box head, and it's supposed to be a box head, because in the original that's where they combined. So I can't really complain about that. The body is generic engine stuff with a tiny little Decepticon symbol there, almost hidden amongst the silver. But yeah, it's kind of what he's supposed to look like. So I can't complain about it, and he looks pretty good. I do like him. There's like loads of little intricate detail like all over the arms and stuff. Yeah, he's a quite nice little guy. And then you... this, you can just peg into that hole there. Glare. That hole there. You can just peg it in. And that's one option, but it makes him way back heavy. Alternatively, if you fold it like that, and you see there's these two little grooves. Well, there's one groove by two tabs. There's one on the other side. They will actually slide onto this piece and this piece. So if you line them up, shove them in, and then just drop that a bit so it's flat. No, come on, don't play up. There you go. Now he stands perfectly fine. The back's filled in, although he's got a big thumb sticking out the back, but what can you do? And yeah, he looks alright. And then you give him the gun blade, because yeah, gun blades are the answer to most problems. And he looks awesome. It's breakdown. And they've given him a, pretty serious hardcore kind of gun. Can I get him to hold this? Sort of. There you go. There you go. It's not ideal, but he's holding it. That works. There you go. Now we'll go on to Offroad. Offroad is the Wild Rider stand-in, and he's got the axe as seen on First Aid, but seen here first, being the original First Aid mold. He's got the gun as seen on First Aid, but you get the idea now. And First Aid has got this tab, but it's right on top of the ambulance roof. Here it's in the flatbed, and it goes into that big square notch between the fingers, and you got to kind of wriggle it in there, and then because it's not the easiest thing to line up, and it goes in there, and it just kind of sticks out the back a mile. But again, so what? Pop that off. And he's a nice little chunky off-road. You know what? Instead of having just another car, which Wild Rider was, I quite like the idea of him having an off-road vehicle. It's like, well, as much as in the cartoon they could like drive up buildings and smash through walls and stuff, because they're supposed to be some sort of super sports car. An off-road vehicle's probably not a bad idea if you want coverage, guys. Just thinking about it. And you know what? He's the Wild Rider grey with red, and that's a slightly darker gunmetal almost with a Decepticon symbol, and got some lights and stuff. But yeah, he's pretty good. He's as good as needs to be. Then the robot mode happens. So we'll transform him, and I think you've all seen this before, but I'm going to transform it anyway. Fold that up. No, you'd have seen him in my knockoff reviews. What am I talking about? Fold that up. Then you get these pieces at the back here, and you've got to try and get them loose, which is easier said than done. There you go. Right. So this kind of tabs in all around itself, but you get that loose. Okay, let's see if we can do this side any easier. There we go. And you bring these on these double hinge, so on this big hinge up here, to there, up to there. And then you just bring them down, untab the sort of shoulder plating from the arm. You've got to keep it quite flush with the arm though, unfortunately, but yeah, bring it down. It's not like you can just walk around like that. Doesn't quite work like that, unfortunately, but yeah, leave it there. Bring that down out of the way. This is the thing, it catches on the tyres. If there was some like third-party one where they had this and you could fold the tyres inside to give you full shoulder, you know, just knock that pin out, replace this piece, and these wheels actually folded in, that'd be novel. Third-party guys, if you do that now, I want to cut because it was my idea. Just putting it out there. Bring down the shins as they would be. Untab this from the back. This actually tabs into the back there, which, you know, First Aid didn't. Double hinge it down, and then, oh, it's already split itself, but elementary step, who cares? And then just tab that in, tab that in, tab. There we go, and turn the head around. And isn't he just brimming with character? Just look at this little bad boy. With a lovely turquoise. Just hidden in the vehicle mode and then just BAM! Straight onto the scene in the robot mode. It is beautiful. I very rarely get turquoise. Very rarely do. And you know what? It's a treat. And then this head sculpt. I can't tell you for why, but it really, really reminds me of I think the only name, so to speak, I can think of is Machine Wars Soundwave. You know the G2 Predators? You got the tank with the big missile on top, and I think it was reused as a Soundwave. That head kind of looks like that, but with a mouth. Or some kind of thunder wing, or something, possibly just the green, I don't know. But he's brimming with character, absolutely brimming with it. And he's a very nice character. I've had to do a little bit of work on this. I didn't have to do any on Breakdown, I've had to do this and the next one. And that is to say, I've had to floor polish his swivels there. Get rid of some of the excess. Whoops. Yeah, I had to floor polish his swivels there because they were just loose as anything. He'd just flop around like you wouldn't believe. And I also did a bit for his knees, just to tighten those up a little bit. But that's it. I've not had to do anything else, really. I might have done some on the shoulders just on the off chance, but... And that's why. Let's go on to the next bit. Weapons. Stick that in there. And you can stick that on there. Which doesn't really want to go in very well. I'm not sure if there's a little lip or something, but this, for some reason, you've got to wriggle to get in there. There you go. It will go in there, you've just got to actually put effort into it. And just because this is a bit heavy, I did tighten up the shoulders a little bit. It wasn't bad, it's just I had a feeling that it was slowly starting to droop, so a bit of floor polish, whatever. Now, the only slight drawback with this guy is he's got very limited weapon storage, and I'm going to sneeze. Weapon storage basically being these ports. Pardon me, at least I'm not a liar. Told you I was going to sneeze. Yeah, it's basically these, that's it. So you can peg the weapons into there if you don't want them in his hands, but because they're right there, they're basically in his hands. So, not sure that helps much, I'll be honest. So, you know, doesn't really help, you know. But, whatever. So, stick him at the back. And now we're on to DeadEnd, who's got an absolutely ridiculous gun on top, which is the Streetwise gun, but it just, because he's a lot smoother than Streetwise, it just stands out a lot more. And does it actually point up slightly? I think it does. So we'll take that off. And he comes with this little sort of smokestack exhaust, punchy, yeah, like club weapon, because you can't use it as a gun, the barrel's pointing upwards, that's not going to work. And then you get this, and you know what? Looking at this, holding this, feeling how smooth and intricate that everything fits together. I understand why people are quite happy to basically just have this in grey and have a Wild Rider, or whatever they've called him. I perfectly understand now I've got this figure in hand. I completely understand. It is just, it just feels nice to have in my hand because everything's smooth and fits together really nicely. It feels good. It's a joy to have. Which sounds really stupid, but if you've got this figure or you get hold of this figure, you might see what I mean. It just feels nice to have in hand. Really strange. That or I really am quite hungover. Transformation, exactly the same Streetwise because this came before Streetwise. I'm going to do the same trick with Breakdown and push. Now this doesn't go as well because this hinge is incredibly tight, but it does lift it up enough for me to get my nail under there. And then bring it up. And the first time I did that, I thought I'd broken it. It's just really tight on this one. So I brought that up. Hooray, go me! And then... is that a bit? Yeah. You know what? We'll do this bit. You fold this piece underneath down, tab it into place, and then you bring this on a double hinge, which doesn't always want to line up. Double hinge, and fold it onto the back. There you go. Now you open these, open these, open these, fold this out. Come on. Straight. And this does want to pop open on this one. Streetwise hasn't got an issue. This one, he likes to pop his knees apart whenever possible. And then you try and line that up so it all taps in nicely. There you go. Bring the shoulders up. Turn the waist. Kill the wabbit. Split the legs. Fold out the hands, bring the arms down, adjust to your liking, fold out the hands, bring the arm down, adjust to your liking. And there he is. And he is lovely. He's a nice figure. He's a really nice figure. I mean, the head sculpt is completely G1. It's so G1. I have tightened the hips on this guy, and again the knees. Just the hips were quite loose. The knees just I wanted a bit more to them, but it feels a lot better now it's been done. I might do this shoulder because I think there might be like a flat spot in the ball joint. Because you get so far and then it suddenly goes, but it's not going to do it now because I'm on camera. Or is it this side? I think it's this one. But regardless, he looks like that, and looks pretty good all around. I mean, again, windscreen sticking out a little bit, but it's fine. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. And he looks a little bit. He does look really nice. He looks really nice. You can give him his weapon, but I always just stick it up there, even on Streetwise, because why would you give him such a ridiculous gun? And then you can give him the club, so he can run up and start hitting people, asking them if they like a lot of chocolate on the biscuit. Anyone who gets that, you're welcome. If you like a lot of chocolate on your biscuit, shut me up. And yeah, he's really nice, like really, just really nice figure, really nice. Have I said he's really nice? Because he is. Just feels good, genuinely feels good. He feels kind of like how Dragstrip did the first time I got hold of him. I described the sensation in it was my 5th video, so go back and watch that. The plastic quality felt like rich Cadbury's chocolate. It's solid, it's smooth. There's no issue. You're not worried about it, because I do a lot of knockoffs, so it's not like I'm thinking of going, oh, I'm just going to twist, and just snap bits off. It's solid. I wouldn't worry about these getting broken. Not as easily as you'd think, anyway. Can I just shunt these around a bit and try and get them all in? There you go. And he tried to do a runner, but let's throw Blackjack in. Blackjack. In preparation for Menasor, if I manage to get my hand on Motormaster, which I'm trying my best to, I've heard that Blackjack doesn't actually hold on very well. So I've run a bit of super glue around the inside of here and here, which would form to merge to form one of the pegs, that little hole there. I've also put some round there, which is the other peg hole. So these peg holes are now tighter. So fingers crossed if I get a hold of Menasor and all the rest, well, not Menasor, but you know what I mean, Motormaster to make Menasor, he will actually hold on now. I'm still not sold if I'm going to use him or not, but now I have the option and it should be a slightly more appealing option. These guys are great. They are. They're really good. Offroad, although he's not the character we're supposed to have, he has so much personality going on. He feels G2. He feels so much like a G2 character, which technically considered these G1 and then one of them's died or whatever. You've ended up with a new guy who's G2. It makes a lot of sense. And it just feels good. They all seem pretty good, they feel pretty good, and I'm quite happy with them. So, yeah, I think I did his transformation in Vid 5, so if I haven't, someone tell me and I'll do it when I get Menasor. So, yeah, they're good. They are, they're genuinely good, and I'm so glad I got hold of them. Oh, man. I've had like 3 hours sleep. Anyway, so I'm going to cut it off there because I've still got to upload this video, and the longer it takes to upload. And I mean, I've got to spend about 5 hours editing at least, just to put like my name, slogan, and catchphrase. I don't edit, you know that by now. I'm going to go because I'm just, yeah. So I should be ugly, I should be wretched, and sooner or later I will get my own limb set so I can form and become Ugliest Maximus. Which has just reminded me of Disadvantage Maximus. Go watch that video. I shall see all of you in the next one. Toodles!